Hey,
Hey,
everybody.
Welcome back to the Boy in the Beard podcast, the best podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube.com.
That is true. So we're in a new space. We moved home base, HQ, as you want to call it, to the shop, the sign shop.
Yes.
And on this wide shot, you can see we've got our plotter, we've got our printer, we've got our green screen, we've got some lights.
You may be looking at this, and it would be understandable, and say, wow, is that a professional film studio you guys are sitting in? But it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
No. So we do our sign shop stuff here. We do some green screen work here. It's a nice space. We have no exterior windows, which works for its towards its advantages.
Yeah, good control over lighting.
It does.
Yeah.
We don't get inundated with folks or what's going on outside, so we can actually put our head down, do a little work, and feel like we got some stuff done.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of walk-ins. I mean, this day and age, there's not too much you need to do in person. It's a good feel, a good old-fashioned feel.
It is. It's good space. I like it. The town of Point Royal owns our building, so we've got a great relationship with those guys.
Yeah.
And we've been here about 5 years.
Yeah. All right. So what you been watching this week?
So, a lot actually, which is weird for me. So I've got 3 movies listed here. One is called Alone.
Okay.
Another one is called Come Play, which I know you've seen.
I have seen. I forgot I saw.
And then the third one was Unhinged with Russell Crowe.
And that's Russell Crowe's Unhinged?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Interesting. Are these all new movies?
Unhinged is, yes. Come Play, I think, as well, because you said you guys had seen it at the drive-in theater.
Yeah, we did.
Alone, relatively new, I think, is a Netflix movie.
Yeah, I think we watched the trailer for it. We were kind of going to go see if we were going to watch any of them. Come to find out, I already did.
Yeah.
Did the work for myself months ago, so that's great.
Yeah, excellent.
How'd you like Come Play?
I liked it. I'm into that type of genre. So Alone, for me, I like it. It was, for those that don't
Come
know.
Play or Alone?
Oh, sorry. Come Play, sorry. So Come Play for me was, I like the genre.
Yeah.
It's it's kind of a science fiction horror.
Yeah.
Suspense.
It reminds me, I don't think you've seen it, but there's a horror movie called The Babadook, which is...
I know of it, but I haven't seen it.
It's great. It's not scary in the traditional sense. It's more grating.
Right.
You kind of get this uncomfortable feeling watching it. It's about like not a neurotypical child. He's socially awkward. He has fits. He screams. The mom can barely handle raising him, so she kind of starts to foray from being like a good mother who you feel bad for into an abusive mother. But the whole thing is that the monster is like a manifestation of grief.
Right. Which
I get with this one because if I recall correctly, it's kind of about being mean and being nice. Is that a theme?
I believe so.
I know it's a book, right? On his iPad.
Yeah.
And he has text-to-speech. So it's kind of a technologically centered movie, too.
Yeah, no, for sure. It definitely is. And some of the stuff I didn't like, the view of inside the iPad, looking out, looked a little cheesy to me.
Yeah.
The special effects were great.
I think the build-up to the reveal of the monster, if I recall correctly, they don't really show it full frame very often or even at all.
Yeah.
But when it's kind of that out of focus, it's dashing around, you kind of get a little hint of this and that. It's really effective.
It is. The only time you can see the monster, for those that haven't seen it, is if the kid's looking through the iPad, through the camera sense. So you've got that third vision in between the iPad that you see it, but he's looking and he doesn't see it outside the iPad.
Yeah. I just remember thinking there's a lot of potential. Like, there could have been a lot of potential for it to be a great movie, but it ended up being an okay movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think when you go see a movie, you just kind of have to take it for what it is. You can go see something and be entertained. Like, when I go watch a Marvel movie, I'm not trying to sit down and watch, like, a Scorsese-esque, just fantastic Oscar-winning film. I want to see some good special effects and some people throwing punches.
Right. I don't take reviews very seriously because it's subjective.
It's subjective, and people are really pretentious.
They are.
I think it should be a
just
sliding
because you
scale.
can give a review doesn't mean you should be able to give a review.
You shouldn't review a romantic comedy the same way you'd review an action movie.
Exactly.
Like, if you're looking at an action movie, there are action movies with good substance, but if you're looking at an action film for, like, a fantastic story and you're going to walk away from it feeling like a changed man, no.
Right. Exactly.
You want to walk out of the movie theater feeling like you're the main character, especially when you're young and you just walk out feeling all high and mighty.
Yep.
I just watched Armageddon recently.
Yeah.
For the first time in a little over a decade. And I have been reminded of the fact that Armageddon is the greatest film ever made in the history of cinema, easily.
I mean, that's pretty high praise.
That's peak cinema. It was
Right.
1998.
Okay.
CGI everywhere.
Right, of course.
You know, poorly aged CGI. Not even good for the time because The Matrix came out a year later, fantastic visual effects, and Jurassic Park came out years prior and also had fantastic
Right.
visual effects. And then you have Armageddon where it looks like a PS2 game. But you got Owen Wilson, you got Bruce Willis, Keith David, Ben Affleck, skinny, young, not sad Ben Affleck.
Yeah. Good teeth, Ben Affleck.
Good teeth Ben Affleck.
I think he had to get his teeth fixed for that film.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
So if you look at him
That's the
prior
conception of like good,
Yes.
charming smile Ben
yeah,
Affleck.
that's it.
I didn't realize how long it was, first and foremost. That's a 2.5 hour long
wow.
movie. A 2.5 hour long movie of nothing but testosterone, men sweating and just being crude,
Yep.
explosions.
Who did that film?
Michael Bay,
There you go.
which I didn't know it was a Michael Bay film. The first and only other time I've ever seen it, I was young. I didn't even know who Michael Bay was. On a rewatch, blows my mind.
Yeah.
The amount of things that goes wrong.
I'm going to have to watch it again.
You absolutely need to watch it again. Let's say there's 15 things they try to do. All 15 of them go wrong. And all 15 of them go wrong in just the most... I mean, you got the Russian space station exploding, a whole space shuttle exploding, trying to land on this asteroid.
If anything could go wrong, it would definitely go wrong, and then some.
And then some. And
Yeah.
the implication... I just love Bruce Willis in this movie because he's a roughneck. He's a
He is,
driller.
right.
But he shows up at NASA, and they're like, oh, we stole your drill patent. So I'm like, whoa, okay, hold on. So this guy's a mechanical engineer. He's
Right.
a genius. They're using his drill to drill into an asteroid and drop a nuke into it. And they're just like, it's the best drill in the world. And he's all, well, you built it wrong, you eggheads. And then he walks him over, and he's all, you can train a driller to be an astronaut faster than you could train an astronaut to be a driller. That's how much nuance there is in drilling. Ridiculous. That's the most insane thing I've ever heard. How do you even quantify the best driller in the world, by the way?
I have no clue.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I have no. What is that spectrum? How is that being gauged?
The NASA guy says we made 36 phone calls and got the same name every time. So you're telling me everyone on Earth who knows anything there is to know about drilling goes, you got to get Bruce Willis.
You got to.
You have to. He's easily the best driller on the planet. And the whole Ben Affleck trying to date his daughter.
Oh yeah, that's
Best character arc of all
Yeah,
time.
yep.
The film literally opens with him just basically looking at the camera and saying, Ben Affleck, I do not approve of you dating my daughter. And then the final line is, I approve of you dating my daughter. He's like,
Before he commits,
Yeah,
before he the
before he
ultimate
sacrifices himself for humanity.
Right.
He's all, oh, I'm just going to take Ben down the elevator. I'm not going to throw him back in or
Yeah.
anything. There's not going to be some big dramatic thing.
Right.
He throws him back in. Take care of my daughter, Ben Affleck. I'm sacrificing myself for humanity.
Steve Buscemi is fantastic in almost anything that he does.
I love Steve Buscemi.
I do too.
I was actually just reminded of how good of an actor he is, and I think
Even in Mr. Deeds,
he's underutilized
he is.
in everything.
He is.
Because he looks weird. I mean, let's just
right,
be
for
frank.
sure. No,
he's
for
got
sure.
that look where they always make him like the creepy, slimy
Yeah.
reptilian, almost like Jake
Monsters,
Gyllenhaal
Inc.
in Nightcrawler.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's in what is he in? He's in Spy Kids too.
Is he? I haven't seen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Spy Kids, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, all those crazy movies, all
So
made by the
that's
same
above
guy.
my-
All made by the
Yeah.
same guy, who made a film. I actually told you about this. He made a film that's not going to be released
Oh,
for
yeah,
like
yeah.
150 or 200
Yeah.
years or something.
What's the story behind that?
I have no idea. He's not releasing any details on it. They filmed it with like a few people, and he said nobody alive today or 50 years from now could comprehend the genius and nuance in my film.
So
So,
let's-
it's going to be distributed in 100 years.
Let's
or
talk
150
logistics.
years.
How is that going to happen? How is he going to ensure that that's going to be released?
He can.
What does he have in place for that?
I don't even know if he has a distributor. This was like 5 or 6 years ago I read
Right.
about it. But who would fund a movie that's not going to get a box office draw in your life?
Oh yeah. No, there's nobody.
Nobody.
I mean, it
also,
doesn't make any sense.
all you've made is Spy Kids and Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I really highly doubt you're going to make the magnum opus of human cinema on a budget of like $200,000.
So what's going to happen is, I mean, it's the nostalgia in that film alone is going to be crazy. It's going to be typical with us now watching a Charlie Chaplin film.
Yeah, it'd be like a fresh release of a movie made, I mean, even before movies
Yeah.
existed.
Yeah.
We're not even that far into
No,
the
yeah,
history of
right.
cinema. I almost guarantee you it never gets released.
Oh, I mean,
It's going to sit and
I'll bet you
collect
money on
dust.
it, but
yeah,
who's gonna?
who's going to sit around and collect? I
Exactly.
guarantee you the master gets lost or sits and collects dust.
Oh, I'm sure.
Who's going to go through the trouble?
Yeah.
For this
Nobody.
guy, he's so
I mean,
full of
he got a little
himself.
bit of PR off of it. Where is he now? What's
Yeah.
happening? You know what I mean?
But Steve Buscemi in Spy Kids 2, this is an actual quote from the film, spoken by Steve Buscemi.
Let's hear it.
Do you think God himself stays in heaven because he's afraid of what he created?
Oh,
Spy Kids 2.
wow. Can you do that in the Steve Buscemi voice?
How does he even sound? He's, hey, it's me, Steve Buscemi. Do you think God himself stays in heaven? My eyeballs are sucking into my head. That's my Steve Buscemi.
That was good. I
Yeah,
like
it's not too bad. It actually kind of loops around talking about Armageddon because on the last episode we talked about Bruce Willis's hair.
Correct.
And this is peak you need to commit.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said before, that's a hard commitment.
I know it's a hard. I mean, it has to be a hard.
Yeah, you
commitment.
don't know.
I
You can assume it's a hard.
I can empathize with it.
It is. I mean, it's security blanket for a lot of men. It's the way you look. It's an appearance, but
It's like one out of three are victim of male pattern baldness.
yeah, no, for sure.
So I mean, you have if you had a 1 in 3 chance of winning the lottery, you'd be
I'd be
stoked. If you had a 1 in 3 chance of having a heart attack in the next 10 minutes, you'd be mortified.
Right.
You got a 1 in 3 chance of going bald if you're a guy.
I mean, it sucks.
That's just a fact. I mean,
but
I'm
once
in
you
that
commit,
bracket,
you
too.
know, I had to make that decision, and about a year and a half ago, I did. I still look in the mirror, and I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah, it's fresh. I mean,
It's a big look. It's
and the beard really helps round it out too.
it does. Without the beard, I'd probably look sickly.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
Not that I'm pale skinned, but I am rather small.
the beard adds stature.
130. It does.
It does. It definitely adds that.
Without the beard,
More of a
though,
presence.
I have like no chin. At least my perception of it is.
Yeah, because your
so-
brain kind of has to autofill in,
Correct.
especially if they've never met you shaven.
Oh,
So
everybody
it's-
that we
it's
deal with now in
huge.
our circle has never seen me
It
without a beard.
Would be mind blowing
Yeah.
if you shaved your beard.
So cue me without a beard right now.
Oh yeah.
So let's
If
just
you-
let that sink in real quick. Okay.
If you shaved and just like
Oh,
went into town and started conducting business but didn't acknowledge it,
it's my superpower.
it would be mind blowing. People
would
would
be.
probably be speechless.
Oh, I'm sure they would.
If I had a time machine and I could use it one time,
Okay.
I would go back to 1997, before they started production on Armageddon, and I would just pull Bruce Willis aside,
Say, dude, come on.
and I'd be
Come
like,
on.
Bruce,
Come on.
I'm going
Come
to
on.
level with you here. When you finally shave, you look great.
Yeah.
And I just think that little bit of positive reassurance would really help him.
And then smack him on the butt and then walk off.
Just
Just be done.
Good game, coach,
Yeah.
and just dip.
No, he has no idea who you are.
Don't warn him about the virus. Don't warn anybody about anything. Don't want any butterfly effect besides Bruce Willis looking better in the movie Armageddon.
Who knows? That could actually change the future enough to where the virus would not even be.
I could
around us,
save humanity if I
Yeah.
went and got Bruce
I mean,
Willis
who knows?
to shave.
Yeah. That's where my money would be at.
Would they make 5 Die Hard sequels?
Ooh,
I mean, I could potentially save cinema
you could.
because there would no longer be. I mean, what are the names of them? Die Harder. Die Hard.
I
Oh
mean-
man, A Good Day to Die Hard.
Yeah, those puns. I mean, to be a fly on the wall in that boardroom when those decisions were being made.
I want to be a fly on the wall in the boardroom where they pitched Armageddon. Because the movie opens with the Earth getting destroyed
Right.
65 million years ago. And then it literally says 65 million years later
Early.
on the bottom in plain text. And then more asteroids start hitting the Earth.
Right.
And obviously it just is a nonstop thrill ride from that point on. But I looked up the budget. It was 150 million in 1998. And I converted it to 2021. It's like 225 million.
Wow.
225 million.
What was the budget of Avatar?
I don't even know. Probably like 500 million. I think it was
Yeah.
one of the more expensive movies. Get that. Look that up, Jamie. Can we get our research guy on that? Can we get our R&R guy?
Let's see. Budget on Avatar.
I'm guessing 300 million.
We're not going to say Avatar 2. We'll just look at Avatar 1. What'd you say?
300 million.
237.
237. What year did it come out? 2008?
2009.
2009. Okay, so it's probably not that much more. 250.
Yeah,
That's surprisingly low.
it is.
Because I remember going to see that movie in theaters, and I think my grandma, who I went and saw it with, told me, like, this movie's been in production for 10 years. And I was like,
And,
woo.
yeah. I need to watch that again. I've got it queued up, but I haven't pulled the trigger. Kelly, my wife, the K in S&K, is not big into science fiction, so there's a lot of limits of movies that we watch together. One of those, nothing science fiction. I'm surprised that she watched Come Play.
Yeah, because
she
it is
does-
kind of that sci-fi
It
vibe.
is, but she does love horror, and she loves thriller and mystery.
I love horror.
Yeah.
Horror, my favorite film of all time is a toss-up between The Thing from 1982
Okay.
by John Carpenter, and Primal Fear with Richard Gere and Edward Norton from 1996.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So one's horror, and then Primal Fear is not horror. It's not even horror adjacent. I wouldn't even call it a thriller because it's not thrilling. It's like a courtroom drama with just a really good twist
Right.
and really amazing acting from Edward Norton.
Love Edward Norton.
Love Edward Norton. But horror is probably my favorite genre. I'd say thrillers and horror.
Yeah.
Because you could just slap on a horror movie and have some dumb fun. And some of them are genuinely great.
For sure.
The original
I don't
Halloween.
know the last time I've been scared on a film. I mean, it's probably forever. I used to ghost hunt, and I was more scared. My senses were more heightened ghost hunting. And that's for
because your
another
brain
episode.
will fill in a lot. If you're out in the dark alone, just your
Oh, your senses are critical. So we'll save that for
Yeah.
episode 3. Uncut Gems was great. That was, I mean,
great.
the whole time, I mean, with that music was so intense. I mean,
It's another one. It's just similar to the Babadook, but not in a horror way. It just is. It's an assault on the senses, but not in a way that's unpleasant. But you never feel at ease. You never feel relaxed. It's constantly just. It's a really gritty depiction of reality too. The life you're in, like the drugs and the jewelry and the gambling, and then the ending. And also, it just goes to show that Adam Sandler can act.
he definitely can. I mean, what's the one where he didn't graduate from school and he went back as elementary? He had to start, but he's back.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I'm notoriously not a fan of Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I got a lot of grief from Alexis because she loves Adam Sandler. Alexis, my girlfriend, shout out. She loves Adam Sandler movies. I kind of despise him. Like, I'll die on that hill. I feel like there's very few redeeming qualities in a multitude of Adam Sandler movies.
Really?
Obviously, his later work, like Jack and Jill, I think most people can agree is pretty bad. Not a big Waterboy fan.
Waterboy was good. I liked Waterboy.
Jokes don't land for me. Little Nicky is probably
That I didn't like.
one of the worst movies I've
appreciate
ever
that.
seen in my life. What's the one where he raises his kid in New York? That one's okay. And what's it called? Big Daddy.
Big
No.
Daddy?
Is
Yeah,
it called Big
with
Daddy?
With the twins?
We watched that at your house,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Alexis and I.
Yeah.
She put it on, and I was Adam Sandler. But
I mean,
I was
a couple
pleasantly
jokes
surprised.
hit. I mean, where he's given
Anger
the,
Management.
Anger Management was great.
That's Jack Nicholson, right?
Yeah.
Love Jack
Yeah,
Nicholson.
exactly.
But I mean, I feel like a lot of people. I don't understand the fanfare over Waterboy. When I watch it, I just feel like it's.
Well, I think at the time, I don't know if it was as popular as it is now, but it's one of those cult classics, at least in my eyes, that you can fall back on and watch. And, Henry Winkler, for me, was eye-opening because, I know him as a Fonz, my generation.
Yeah. I like Kathy Bates, right? Is the mom.
Kathy Bates is the mom.
I like
I like
Kathy
her.
Bates.
She's great.
In the movie, I like her.
Yeah.
Now, I played football in high school, so I heard a lot of Waterboy quotes, a lot. So maybe, yeah, so many people doing the voice. So I don't know if it's a mixture of the outside elements, and then now when I go watch the film, it's kind of tainted. But
I'm sure that could have something to do with it.
absolutely. So I want to pose a question to you.
Okay.
That I brought up earlier.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna go on record and say I'm not a huge LL Cool J fanatic in terms of rap.
I think we just need to shut the podcast down right now. I mean.
Yeah. So I don't throw on any LL, but we listen to that old school rap radio station when we're cruising
Sirius
around
XM,
working,
yep.
and they put quite it's his radio station.
Yeah, Rock the Bells.
Yeah, so there's some good LL coming through, and I'm always kind of pleasantly surprised that he's a rapper. He's
No, for sure. When he came out in the early 80s, mid 80s, I had lived in Germany from 85 to 89, so that's right around his prime. Him and the Beastie Boys.
Love the
and
Beastie Boys.
I fell in love with LL Cool J at that time, and then later in high school, 1991, when he had a couple hits that come out. For me, that's the LL Cool J, not the actor LL Cool J.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're about to get into.
So for me, it's musician, it's rap artist, it's producer, it's that LL. Ladies love Cool J.
I'm sure the ladies did love Cool James.
Oh, they still do.
But did his foray into acting, where he takes a lot of goofy roles, taint people looking back and thinking of him as a bona fide rapper? Because if you talk about, especially to a younger person, about old school rap, they got the big ones. They're not even they're not talking about Slick Rick or even the Beastie Boys.
No.
They're talking about Tupac,
Right.
Biggie,
Yep.
NWA.
Yep.
Those are the big three. No one's bringing up LL Cool J.
No, they're not, and it's one of those, So as soon as we talked about that. So we were driving and we started to have this conversation, and I nixed it right then. I said, let's save that for the podcast. My first thought was Ice-T.
Yeah.
So Ice-T's made that transition. But
He made it in Grace, I think.
I think he did as well. I mean, he's on Law and Order for I don't know how many years, but he had he had New Jack City, some other films as well. But I don't think he's taken the comedic route.
I think the fundamental difference with Ice-T and LL Cool J's approach to breaking into acting in TV and movies, I don't know if LL has done very many television shows, but it's more like LL in a movie is all, oh, look, it's LL Cool J being funny, being wacky. It's the rapper LL Cool J in our movie being this goofy side character.
Right.
And Ice-T, it's not, hey, look, it's Ice-T playing a funny little role in our movie. He's serious. Like, what is he? He's in CSI? Is that what it is? No.
I thought it was Law and Order.
Law and Order SVU. So when I see Ice-T in Law and Order SVU, I'm not looking at Ice-T, right? I know it's Ice-T, but I'm looking at his character. It's a long. He's been on that show for a long.
He has.
time.
He has.
What season are they on?
Honestly, I don't know. I
know Kelly's a big fan.
She is, and she's watched season 1 through current. She did some binge watching over the beginning of COVID.
There are at least 15 seasons, Steve.
Oh,
right?
if not more.
Was he on it from the jump?
Maybe season 2.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll fact check this, and this will be thrown up on screen, whether or not we're accurate or not.
So I did myself the absolute service of looking up LL Cool J's filmography. And here are the big three that stand out to me. Deep Blue Sea.
Okay, he's a
shark movie from 1999.
Yeah, pre-Sharknado.
Pre-Sharknado, post, I don't know. It's like people kept trying to make good shark movies after Jaws, or maybe not good, but they still kept trying to cash in on it.
Yeah.
Not great special effects. Sam Jackson's in there as well.
Yes.
But he's a chef with a parrot.
Yeah.
That's his character. There's no depth.
Right,
That's what he is.
sure.
He's LL
Right.
Cool J, but with a chef hat and a parrot.
Yeah.
Charlie's Angels from 2000 with Lucy Lou, Cameron Diaz.
What was his? I know that film, but what role was he?
I don't even remember what role he's in, because I remember Charlie's Angels 2, which I think came out in 2004 and has Shia LaBeouf, and one of the best scenes in cinema history where they're all motorcycle racing and shooting at each other and just fighting on motorcycles at a dirt bike track. And the sky in the background was clearly gray on the day they filmed, and they just keyed it and cranked it up to blue, so everything's outlined in white.
Right.
It is one of the most poorly shot and composed scenes I've ever seen in a film. And also, Shia LaBeouf in Charlie's Angels. That was a 70s TV show, right?
It was. It definitely was, yeah.
And now we got Shia and dirt bikes?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh. And we also have Halloween H2O.
I knew you were going to go with that one. I didn't see his list, by the way, so I just knew that was going to be on there.
Good movie.
It's an okay movie.
I think, in the realm of Halloween films, if you're laying out, what are there, 12? Counting Rob Zombie's, all of them. I think it's top 3. Top 4. Top 4.
I wouldn't put it there, but okay.
Halloween 1, easily the best.
Yeah.
Halloween 2, decent sequel.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of them being siblings. I stand by the director saying he regrets doing that.
Right.
I think H2O is the most solid sequel of the original timeline. 3 is not Michael Myers.
Correct.
4 is absolutely forgettable. 5, and then we get, who is it? Busta Rhymes doing karate in Halloween 6 on a reality show that's live streamed through Bluetooth earpieces. That's horrible. It's awful. But then somehow you get Halloween H2O, which is like a decent return to form, I think. Yeah. It's a pretty straightforward slasher. There's not too much goofiness going on.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And I think LL is in a relatively serious. I mean, he's still comedy in that one, but
he's
not.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his love story that he's trying to write, and his girl's on the phone.
Yeah, he's not too zany.
No,
he's
for
not
sure.
Too out of the realm.
Out of the 3, it's probably one of his better roles.
Yeah, and I think Rob Zombie's Halloween is pretty good.
I like the first one. The second was a little out there, but the first one was
second one's
fantastic.
Definitely out there. They really pentupled down on all the dream stuff, and the second one does this weird thing where. Not Jamie Lee Curtis, but why can't Lori can talk to the ghost of her dead mom, and they kind of imply that she's actually, because there's these weird dream sequences, and you feel like she's hallucinating, but then they're kind of actually communicating.
Yeah, if you're not following along 100%, you're lost.
I would say it's horrible. Yeah. And I'm a fan of Rob Zombie.
Yeah, no, for sure, as am I, both musically and his other films.
The House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects is great.
Rejects, all those.
The third one in that trilogy wasn't great. What was it even called? So forgettable.
3 from Hell.
3 from Hell.
Yeah.
Nah, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way it was shot. It didn't feel like it was in the same film trilogy.
Yeah, there's probably wasn't much into it that he wanted. I mean, I don't know his reasoning for doing it. Maybe just to finish it off.
I'm curious on if it was But I don't think it was planned to be a trilogy from the get-go.
Probably not. Just running off the high of the other two.
I wonder if it was even planned to be a duology.
Yeah,
From House of
I
a
don't know.
Thousand Corpses, because tonally and the way it's shot and everything is completely different from House of a Thousand Corpses to The Devil's Rejects.
It is, for
Because
sure.
The Devil's Rejects is definitely more streamlined, more of a straightforward. You have all those weird transitions in House of a Thousand Corpses where it's like negative and played in reverse, and
which is kind of a throwback to the 70s horror shows and things like that. So
yeah, and I think
he's
it
big into that.
encapsulates his music a little bit too, because
Yeah.
that's what would you even call his genre? Like
Horror rock,
horror metal.
I'm sure he's
horror?
got something listed under his wiki.
It's probably called
gore
like
metal.
blood rock or something,
Yeah.
like blood metal, something cringy.
So great transition into music.
Yes.
My new favorite artist is Tom McDonald. Got wind of him on TikTok. I think Kelly tagged him for me. And this dude's flow is ridiculous. I've reached out to him on Instagram, see if we can get him on. I doubt it's going to happen. He's blowing up.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, I think. Is that how you say his name?
Gretzky, yeah.
Pretty sure that's
Yeah.
who said that.
So he's got, new song Fake Woke, which is out. And then
Definitely his music's a lot of political commentary.
very lot of political commentary. And I think he speaks kind of the truth in what, where we're at now politically. But we don't talk politics. We don't talk
We don't talk
religion.
politics, but I will say the overarching theme is unity and kind of getting together to go against the man. That's not necessarily an I'm wrong, you're right grandstand, which is a breath of fresh air. And honestly, to let people express themselves in their music.
Yeah,
It's art.
exactly right.
People, I mean, it's art. That's what it's.
Yep.
You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to seek it out if you don't like it.
Yeah.
So just let the people who do cruise.
Yeah. And,
But his lyrics and his flow are crazy.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, he's Eminem-esque, and I don't
Even his
think-
voice is kind of Eminem-esque.
Yeah, and I know no one likes to be somebody. I refer to somebody else. You sound like this. You'd rather have your own sound and style. But for me, Eminem's one of the greatest lyricists and rappers. Some would argue he's not, but I think he's shifted. So
shifted.
I think Eminem now is not as much as he was when he first came out and when he was with 50
Completely different artist.
and all that. Yeah.
I liked his stuff he did with 50.
No, for sure. I don't
I
necessarily
actually
like
liked
his
a lot of
beard.
his old. I'm not huge on the beard. I actually remember the first time I saw a picture of his beard.
Yeah.
And someone was like, "Whoa, Eminem
Yeah.
with a beard. This just
Yeah.
feels so wrong." I don't know. It's weird because
We just don't know him that way.
it's a whole image shift.
Yeah, for sure.
His brand.
Yeah.
He kind of has that baby face thing going on. He looks young, especially when he's blonde.
Yeah,
blonde and buzz
exactly
cut. So
right.
then he kind of move on to the dark hair, and it's
Yeah.
okay. It's more serious. He's damaged or he's
Yeah.
recovered, and then boom, beard grows, and I don't know.
It
I didn't
reminds
like
me. Yeah, it just doesn't fit.
because it's not even like a full beard. He keeps it pretty trim.
He keeps it very tight.
It's not bad or anything.
No, for sure, not at all.
Completely different image. I haven't liked a lot of his newer projects.
I haven't either.
His most recent album, I think, Music to Be Murdered
Yep.
to, or Music to Be Murdered by, something like that. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it was definitely better than anything he's put out in the last 6-7 years. But his early 2000s, his early to 2000, 2008 whole situation going on was definitely, I think, the prime.
Yeah. Him and D12 stuff I loved.
D12, yeah.
D12 with Purple Pills. Some of that song. And for me, I'm not so much into lyrics as I am the beat.
Which I'm the opposite.
And so is Kelly. She's more into lyrics.
Yeah.
For me, it's about the beat and how that makes me feel, and then the lyrics come second.
I will say, if there's a song with fantastic lyrics and like amazing rhyme schemes and they're like triple entendres, that's what impresses me, is if they say something and it means like 4 different things at once. I can listen to it and enjoy it if I'm trying to just put on an album and listen to it, but I'm not going to throw it on while I'm driving to jam. I definitely want some nice beats in the background, something that's easy on the ears, something that's easy to kind of just relax and actually listen to, where I'm not like, oh, I'm going to sit down and digest some art.
Right.
It's the difference between reading poetry to entertain yourself and like putting on a TV show.
Yeah, completely different.
Yeah. You been watching any good TV shows?
No, we've kind of just been doing a lot of the film watching and watching that. We are watching Apple TV, The Servant.
That's M. Night Shyamalan?
Yes. Season 2's out, and it comes out every Friday.
Is that his first TV show?
That's a good question.
I honestly have no idea.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a great series, great actors. He's a chef, and the wife is the young redhead lady that was in Can't Hardly Wait back in the, I think, 09 maybe. and her baby, she ends up killing her baby, but at the time we don't know how she killed the baby. So she has one of these fake baby dolls that are there, and then she brings in somebody to help with the fake baby. And so she has somebody to come in with the fake baby, and then she, we know at the last that she brings in the baby herself.
Yeah. So she's using this fake baby as a coping mechanism because she's not fully at terms with the fact that she killed her child.
Correct.
Right? So she's kind of deluded to the point
Yeah.
of thinking it's alive. She's treating like it's really her child.
And we don't know where the new baby came in whenever the young lady brings it, but she ends up bringing it. She's coming from a like a cult family.
Yeah. The servant lady, the lady that's coming in.
Yes.
Because I saw the trailer for it actually as a pre-up to a YouTube video.
Right.
And I didn't skip it because my interest was piqued because it was like a super close up, like fish lens almost shot of the servant lady doing an interview, I feel like her little casting. And it was like a 3-minute long trailer.
Oh, wow.
Like it gave a pretty good breadth of knowledge of what's going on. It showed the doll a little bit. So it's ambiguous.
Yeah.
How many questions get answered by the end? Or how many questions?
It's still ongoing. Well, it's so by the end of season 1, you kind of know where she's coming from. The baby is an actual baby. They're not visualizing it. We're not, it's an actual baby. And you still wonder how can the mother go from having a fake baby to killing her own baby, first of all, and being in such denial that a fake baby takes the baby's place, and then a new baby comes in, and she's okay with that transition. The dad understands everything, but they're keeping it a secret from the mother.
So the dad is kind of audience perspective, almost.
To an extent, but he knows how frail she is and fragile she is emotionally, and if he tells her the brother's in on it, and the brother's from Harry Potter, the redhead guy.
Oh, really?
All grown up.
Ronald?
Yeah.
Ronald Weasley?
I believe so. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never been.
I've seen Harry Potter. Sorry.
I've seen, I think, the first 3, and I've never read the books.
Yeah.
Never been a huge.
So let's talk that real quick. So I noticed that you didn't watch the Super Bowl.
No.
So I did, and which I'm not a big a big football fan. I appreciate the game and the athleticism of it. So we watched it, and the biggest thing that I noticed were the cinema-style lenses that were being used on the field by camera operators. It created that depth. So we've got Tom Brady walking off.
And it's all out of focus in the background.
Yeah. So we've got the portrait lenses now on the phone, so it's adding that artistic feel. It was fun. I loved it.
Yeah, it's like the cinematography of everything,
Yeah.
even stuff that doesn't require cinematography.
Everything now is not wide open and everything's in focus. Now we can pinpoint that in, and it's good to see that shift and that change.
Even just little stuff like the on-screen graphics.
Yeah.
Like when they're showing first downs and whatnot.
Yeah.
I used to be a
for
big
sure.
fan. I used to be a big fan of football. I used to watch. I was a 49ers fan.
Okay.
Used to watch all the games, this and that. I think around 2013, 2013, I want to say they lost the Super Bowl to the Ravens by like 1 touchdown. That was like the killing blow. I just kind of stopped watching.
So I'm the guy,
football after that.
so I'll watch Super Bowl. I'll get hyped up. Season starts. I'll watch maybe one game, and then I'd fizzle out.
Yeah.
Same thing with NASCAR. Daytona 500 was just Sunday. They had a 5 or 6 hour rain delay. But with us not having cable now, there's a shift in my watching, and it's a little bit more effort.
Yeah.
Because I don't subscribe to Fox.
Yeah.
Or ESPN or anything like that.
It's crazy because it's still such a big draw.
Oh, it's huge.
Sports.
It's
Like when
so
you look
much
at,
money.
man, so many things have live packages where they're like ESPN included.
Yeah. Talking about that. So I haven't been watching television from a series standpoint, but getting old, those that are listening or watching, your TV habits change, your thought process changes. 48, I've started watching a lot of documentaries. I love a good Western.
I love documentaries and Westerns.
So I started watching, I finally seen the Alex Hernandez documentary, which I hadn't seen that.
Aaron Hernandez?
Aaron Hernandez.
I thought so.
Yeah, sorry. I just goes to show you how much I know he played for the Patriots. So Aaron Hernandez, I watched that, but there's another one I watched called The Pharmacist. And what that is in New Orleans. I don't remember the year. I want to say 09, 07. Right outside of New Orleans, the 9th Ward, there's another parish there. And young kid goes into the 9th Ward, gets shot buying crack, crack or cocaine, but comes from a
like upper middle class,
decent family. Yeah. So of course the dad's shocked that he was even addicted to that. So the dad, being a pharmacist, right now is a little bit irrelevant. He literally goes around the neighborhood, puts up posters, pulls out a phone book, calls everybody within this district, made a circle around, or like a 3-mile radius, ends up talking to a lady that was a witness. Somebody they gave up.
This
as
is the dad doing
the dad
this.
doing this. So they pulled up one of the witnesses. He was first a suspect. Then he flipped the script and said, no, this guy did it. So then he became a witness. That kid ended up shooting his son. And he had him in his car. Now, what's unique about this is the dad recorded almost every conversation he had with the police, with the FBI, and this young kid in his
So
car.
he had like a comprehensive record of
It was
everything.
Not video.
He
but
pulled a
just all-
Richard Nixon.
He did. He Watergated. So the kid gets X amount of years. He was 16, I believe so. So he's out now, and the young lady had to go into witness protection, and she was related to the kid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's that twist, and then him being a pharmacist realized that the oxycodone,
Oxy? I don't even know.
Oxycontin,
I've heard Oxycontin, but who knows, honestly.
the oxy epidemic in New Orleans was so bad that he found out it was one particular pharmacist because he could get that printout. He would stake her out. He had a little bit of video surveillance, contacted the FBI because all these people were dying.
So an actual pharmacist was just like selling on the side and just contributing to like...
So big that she had people waited 2 days to get the drug.
Wow.
And then some people would even get the drug, get the prescription, go get the drug, come back and sell the drugs to those still waiting to get their
on the
prescription.
wait list. He's
Yes.
like, hey, you can get it faster for more.
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
he was huge in taking her down. And the irony is, I think she got in a car accident, had to get on the oxy to help her with pain, and but she didn't get addicted to it.
Oh, well,
So-
good for her.
Yeah.
I want to talk about a little, actually, is the style of documentaries these days.
Oh, they're fantastic.
There's been such a shift in the way that they're shot, edited,
Yep.
and portrayed.
I love a great documentary, and I don't think the average viewer understands the work that goes into just a good documentary alone. But then when you put the graphics on top of that,
The visual
you've
effects
got to
guys,
have B-roll. You
the
have
transitions. I mean, there was, what was it? I can't remember if there was a Michael Jordan documentary, I think, where they took old newscasts from like the early 1990s and they went in and they matched like their cadence and everything to the original casters, masked in just the mouths, and they did like actual 1990s newscasts, but they were talking about things that were currently happening, just as transitional shots between actually talking about. I want to say it was Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I think it was fueled by Netflix. Netflix documentaries back in
Some of the
2015,
best, yeah.
16. They started doing those talking heads, but they're kind of showing, you're hearing the producers asking questions, they're throwing in a little cuss words here and there, which is naturally endearing to a lot of people.
Right.
We were watching the WWE toy deal one.
Yes.
So you know exactly what style I'm talking about. And then you go back and say you watch like we watched a documentary about like a dolphin slaughter in some cove, and it's just, I mean, it's great content. It's amazing to educate yourself, but you're going into that more like you're attending a lecture.
Right.
You're not being entertained while you're learning, like how in these new ones,
I mean,
bop, bop, bop. I think they know the attention span is just not there. And it's also more accessible for someone who's not into documentaries.
Yeah. With having so much content, you've got to elevate your game visually and from a storytelling standpoint. You have to keep that audience entertained. So I'm 100% behind documentaries. I love them, and as long as the subject matter is something that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So our new website launched. We've actually had 2 phone calls today about them reaching us or contacting us. So for those out there, Facebook and social media is very important, but nothing beats a good website. When they do a Google search, they're going to find you on there, and typically Facebook's going to show up as well. But having a good
it's a circle, it's a closed loop.
It is.
They all work in harmony.
Yep. Yeah. And your SEO is really going to be based on those backlinks coming to your website. So if you have reputable pages, if it's a Chamber of Commerce, if it's an article that was published, if it's some other, obviously on social media, you want that to backlink to your page, and that's going to help your search engine results. And updating a blog, creating some kind of post, some fresh content that's on your site, Google's going to recognize that, and they're going to reward you a little bit by putting you up closer.
Do you a favor and Google whatever type of business you are and put near me, sandwiches near me, signs near me, video near me, and just see where you are.
Yeah.
And then you can build a strategy around that, or find somebody who's more knowledgeable and work with them to build a strategy around it. Because it makes a huge deal.
It does, and it takes time.
Yeah. I mean, most people aren't scrolling past 4 links.
No, and if you're inundated, if there are ads on every single one, I don't click the ad buys.
I see people talk about how they'll scroll past an ad and click on something that's the same URL, even
Yeah.
though it's not the ad. Even
with an ad buy, they have that almost like an eBay, so they're
Yeah.
bidding on that ad placement. So the more money that they bid, the higher that they're going to show up on that. So thanks everybody for listening and
Yes.
watching. We appreciate everybody, and we'll see you for episode 3.
Yeah, episode 3.
All right, see ya.
Later.